Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Adubato. Way more importantly, we are honored to welcome the former Lieutenant Governor of the great state of New Jersey, Kim Guadagno, who is the Executive Director of Mercy Center. Good to see you, Kim.
Good to be with you, Steve. Thanks.
Real quick, as we put up the website for Mercy Center, let everyone know why it is and the important work that is being done there.
So Mercy Center is in Asbury Park, and their vision is to end generational poverty in the greater Asbury Park area now. And it's aspirational, but I think it's attainable. And that's what we do every day, work to help people get out of poverty and then stay out of poverty.
How'd you find your way to Mercy Center, Kim?
And what you really mean, Steve, is what's a mean girl like you who spent 8 years in Trenton doing it in a nice place like this?
I did not say, not even thinking that.
You would not be the first. Look, I left government and went back to doing what I had been doing for 25 years before I got involved in any kind of political realm, and that's practicing law. I got involved with a group called Fulfill, which is the food bank in Monmouth and Ocean County. Got a chance to go lead them during COVID. And found that after COVID, people needed help on the ground. And Mercy Center and I clicked. They're about 20 minutes from where I live right now, which is perfect for an old lady like me. And they literally were transitioning from nuns who are running the operation for 38 years. It is a ministry of the Sisters of Mercy. And they needed somebody to replace them. And I thought it was kind of amusing for a politician to replace a nun. But I think it's really good for all of us because we've made some changes that really achieve the goal of helping people.
Our mutual friend Larry Downs talked to us about Mercy Center, and one of the things he told us about, we were talking about some of the programs, and we're going to highlight some of them, but also go on the website to find out more. When we talk about the Family Resource Center, one-stop shopping, for what?
So the whole theory is end generational poverty, and it's three pieces. One is if you're hungry now, get fed. And that's what we've started to do in a stigma-free way. We could talk about that in a minute. I mean, the numbers are off the charts. And then once you satisfy the hunger in your stomach, then help make sure families, especially women and children, stay together. And that's the Family Resource Center. So we have 10 licensed social workers who speak Creole, Spanish, Arabic, 3 dialects of Indian. They work to meet families where they are and get them the help they need. So we do a lot of interesting programs involving domestic violence and sexual assault, also immigration, also co-parenting. We do a lot of time at the county jail, stabilize the family so that they can live and be productive members of society today. And then the last piece, I mean, how do you end this cycle? That is that people continuously go to the pantry, continuously need help in their families. You get kids a good education. And so we have a girls' school, tuition-free, private, not related with any particular entity.
Excuse me, sorry for interrupting, Kim. Is that the Sisters Academy?
It is the Sisters Academy.
But I'm sorry.
It's in a tough section of Asbury Park. It's for 4th to 8th grade girls. And the idea is get those girls the education they need to get into a good high school and later on a good college if that's where they want to go. And it's working. One child, one family at a time.
I'm curious about this. You know, we've known each other a long time. We did many really thoughtful, often spirited, interesting interviews when you were Lieutenant Governor. And the governor you served with as well. Always spirited. That's the word I'm using.
That was always spirited, I'm sure.
I'm just going with that. But here's what strikes me. You have a legal background. You have a prosecutorial background. You're a prosecutor. You go into government to make a difference. And now you make a difference here at Mercy Center. Biggest difference between attempting to make a difference in government versus at a significant not-for-profit like this?
Well, you know, it is all about service. The single thread through the entire last 50 years, well, 40 years, okay, of my professional life has been service.
40. I go with 40.
I'm going with maybe 30, but 40. You know, service is really the line. And you find out that you can serve in a lot of different ways. And with the 10th anniversary of Sandy coming up, we found that we could serve in a lot of different ways as a government official, but there's nothing like having someone come into the pantry, look you straight in the eye, and say, I'm hungry, can you help me? And the answer to the question is yes. And it is something that I focused on while I was lieutenant governor. I'll never forget walking to an Atlantic City food pantry where the mother came up to me with tears running down her face and said, my daughter is a Marine. And if she knew while she was serving her country, I had to come here in order to feed the rest of my family, she would be mortified. That's stuck with me for the last 2 decades. And that's what we're doing here now. We're helping people, we're engaging them in their own language so they trust us. And so when they come in to ask for help, and that takes a lot for all of us to ask for help, we give it to them in a stigma-free way, in an honest way, and we do it the best we can. And to me, the one-on-one interaction with people is what fills me up, and what I hope helps them the most.
Again, no money, no mission. I've mentioned this before. We're actually interviewing the head of public broadcasting in our state, and Jolie, and I was saying, you know, for those of us who lead nonprofits, 3/4 of our job is raising money.
Right.
Is that your world as well?
It is. We do not charge for the girls that go to the Sisters Academy.
Really?
It's not a charter school. It's not a public school. So we get no state funding in that sense. We get what every child is entitled to, but Chromebooks and things. But other than that, we're on our own. I raise about $1 million a year to keep that school operational. We thought during COVID, it would be unfair to charge families tuition of any sort when they could barely make ends meet as it was. So there's 15 kids in every class. There's classes from the 4th to the 8th grade, and we raise the money and send them to school for free. The parents have skin in the game, or the caregivers, because they're asked to volunteer. So it's not free in that sense. But the Family Resource Center, we get a lot of state grants. They are very rich, as you know, from this year's state budget now, and we're planning for when that budget doesn't allow for it. And the pantry, we have a lot of different partners. We have the food bank as a partner. We have the hospitals as a partner. We have leftover CARES Act money that allows us to feed. Steve, I don't know if you got the numbers, but last year, this month, we fed 100 people. The last full month was September. We fed 100 people. Because we've changed the way we're feeding people, and because we've changed the quality of the food, in other words, fresh produce, and because I think the economy is awful and people can't afford food, and because we live in a food desert, our numbers are now more than 3,600 people a month. And so you have to be out there. I always said there's no shame in raising money for a good cause. And let me tell you, it is much easier to raise money for hungry kids than it is to raise money for a political campaign. And it's much more satisfying and easier to ask.
And first of all, it's also I'm going to add this before I ask about immigration. Got a minute left. I'm going to say easier. I'm not going to say easier. As a former state representative, I'd rather raise money to do public broadcasting, public policy program than election. That being said, real quick on immigration services, got 40 seconds.
So immigration, when families come to us, they need solutions. They can't get state benefits unless they are in the system. They can't get in the system if they're not properly registered with immigration officials. And we've been seeing Ukrainian refugees, Venezuelan refugees, and we are trying to bring them in. We have certified paralegals who speak Spanish, and we're working on one who speaks Creole to make sure they get the resources so that they can become legal citizens, so they can get the services that they need. They come to us, they get the services. I don't care who they are or what their background is. They need it, they get it. But let's do long term. Let's end generational poverty by getting them the licensing, the permissions they need to stay in this country.
Kim Guadagno is not just the former lieutenant governor in New Jersey, but she's the executive director of Mercy Center. We've had their website up throughout the program. They are doing important work. Cannot thank you enough, Kim. All the best to you and to the family, the team at Mercy Center. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Steve.
You guys stay with us. We'll be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, PSEG Foundation, Bank of America, the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, Community Food Bank of New Jersey, Johnson & Johnson, the Russell Berry Foundation, the Fidelco Group, and by the Adler Aphasia Center, Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by New Jersey Monthly.
Hundreds of thousands of people in New Jersey face hunger.
Now, more than ever.
Together with our 800-plus agency partners,
Now, more than ever.
the Community Food Bank of New Jersey is fighting hunger
Now, more than ever.
this holiday season in a time when the need is so great. You can help our hungry neighbors by going to cfbnj.org to donate now.